Okay, beautiful. Beautiful music. And thank you so much for the wonderful message today, Pastor Brenda, and for inviting me, Susie. I'm glad to be here to join your congregation today. Um, just to preface my presentation, I am on borrowed time today. I'm traveling and checkouts at 11:30. So if you have any questions, if you can please type them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer what I can at the end of the meeting. I'm going to start. Well, I'll introduce myself. My name is Christine Soper. I'm a recycling coordinator with Republic Services. I've been with the company for over 10 years, working in various municipalities and markets here locally, from Milpitas, San Jose, Union City, and now dedicated to our city of Fremont, mainly our commercial base, restaurants, local businesses, multifamily apartments, communicating our local recycling, organics programs. And I help businesses to establish collection services. Today, I'm joining all of you to clarify questions on recyclable items, what we can recover, and just an overall material waste reduction presentation for you. First, I'm going to try to get started with a short video from Stop Waste. It's the Alameda County Waste Management Authority website. Again, this particular video is more directed to local businesses, but it'll give you an idea of some recent state legislation, SB 1383, where it's now required for businesses and residents alike to not only recycle, but also capture food compostable material. So I'm going to get started.
In 2012, the Alameda County Waste Management Authority passed the Mandatory Composting and Recycling Ordinance. The law requires most businesses, institutions, and multifamily properties to have recycling and organics collection service and sort materials properly. Recycling and composting is important, not only to comply with the law, but also because most materials could be made into new products, like rich compost to feed our soil rather than sitting in a landfill. Many Alameda County businesses already do a great job recycling and composting, and more are getting on board every day. So join them. Watch along to learn how to sort materials properly. It's easy once you get the hang of it. Let's start with recycling. Businesses must recycle bottles, cans, paper, and cardboard. You may have been recycling for years, but let's review the rules. Recyclable paper includes cardboard, paperboard, newspaper, white paper, and mixed recyclable paper such as paper envelopes, magazines, and packaging paper. Plastic containers labeled with a number 1 or number 2 must be recycled. Many cities accept additional plastics, including other hard or rigid plastic containers, bottles, and jugs. Glass containers include beer, wine, and other beverage bottles, as well as jars from condiments and other foods. Broken drinking glasses and ceramic plates are not accepted in the recycling. Metal containers include aluminum and steel beverage and food cans. Most cities also accept clean aluminum trays and foil. Metal spray cans like cooking oil sprays are recyclable, but must be empty. You may be wondering, how clean do my recyclable containers need to be? Tap containers to empty leftover food into the organics bin or wipe out sticky food residue with a paper towel. Place the dirty paper towel into your organics bin and the container into the recycling. Let's move on to the materials that must go into your organics bin for composting. After collection, organics head to large-scale composting facilities where they become a rich soil amendment. This compost helps grow our food, so it's important to sort properly and keep plastic, glass, and metal out. In Alameda County, discarded food, compostable paper, and plant debris like leaves, grass clippings, weeds, and flowers must be collected for composting. Food scraps such as trimmings and waste from food prep, uneaten food from plates, and any food that has gone bad must be composted. And since these organics are going to a large composting facility, even things like raw and cooked meat, bones, fish, and poultry go into the bin too. Tea bags, wooden stir sticks, and coffee grounds with the paper filter can all go into the organics bin. In fact, all food-soiled paper goes in. Paper and cardboard that has touched food, including pizza boxes, paper plates, cups and takeout containers, parchment paper, egg cartons, napkins, and paper towels. Even if paper towels and napkins haven't been contaminated with food, they still cannot be recycled into new paper. This is because they're made from a lower quality paper, but they can be composted. Waxed cardboard goes into the organics, and so does shredded office paper. Since sorting facilities typically can't capture paper shreds for recycling, they're best placed into organics for composting. Remove food items from packaging before placing them into the green bin. It really helps to have green bins right where food scraps and food-soiled paper are typically tossed, for example at dishwashing stations and food prep areas. Now that we've sorted out everything that can be recycled or composted, there should be very few items that need to go into the garbage. Here's what should. Soft and flimsy plastic like food wrappers, strappings, loose plastic bags, and plastic food wrap. This goes for plastic utensils, straws, lids, sauce packets, rubber and plastic gloves, hairnets, and any items that are made from multiple materials that can't be separated into a single material. It feels good to recycle, and it's so easy. Not just bottles and paper, but also food waste and compostable paper. And yes, it's the law. But when most of what you throw away is now recycled or composted, you won't have much garbage. This website link has all the information you need, including free resources and more details about Alameda County's composting and recycling rules.
Okay. I'm also going to share. Can you all still hear me? I'm going to share this website. I believe I included the link in the chat. And it's a resource for residents to ideally make mindful decisions about your consumer choices and help to reduce and prevent waste. And I want to go right here. I'm sorry, to preventing waste for residents. I believe I put the link in the chat. There's a lot of great ideas, activities that you can do as a citizen to reduce the waste before it's generated, using reusable containers, reusable bags, purchasing items that can be accepted for recycling, buying in bulk where you can, and managing your food waste, doing meal prep and storing your food in a way to eat the perishable items before they turn, and composting organic items instead of putting it into the landfill trash cart. And again, purchasing items that can either be recycled, that are made of recycled content. Also, there's a wonderful resource. I wanted to share this with you too. This is through, this is a county website, resource.stopwaste.org. It'll give you like a database that you can search for certain items that you're looking to get rid of, dispose of, and find other options other than going to the landfill. This website used to be called recycleware.org. It's been rebranded and renamed as Resource. So this is a really good resource for our local community. Ideally, when you're at home, before you go to throw something away, you have sorting containers already established at your house. So when you and your family go to throw something away, you have the containers there to make the right decision before everything just winds up in the trash, whether it be, a separate container or a bag that you can store recyclables. It's helpful to recover these type of things. And I'll show you here. I could have shared this as well. I don't know how well this is going to translate. It's mostly some of the items that the video covered, the clean paper items, food and beverage, plastic, glass, metal containers that are empty as much as possible. And the message and the purpose there is because these are all commingled in one container, we're really trying to keep this good paper as clean as possible. So it's not soiled and moistened in the collection process. So here in the city of Fremont, Republic Services, we've been contracted by the city of Fremont to provide the collection. We are the waste recycling organics hauler. And in this city, we transport the material generated to the Fremont Recycling and Transfer Station over on Boyce Road. And that is the facility that actually processes and bundles materials that are accepted for recycling to the recycling market, to various domestic and foreign markets, to capture, recycle these products into new items. Republic Services, we do manage the composting facility over at Newbie Island, over off of Dixon Landing Road. So this is the facility where your yard trimmings and food scraps are transported to actually be composted into a nutrient-rich soil amendment. As you may have heard in the beginning of the Stop Waste video, there is new legislation here in California. It's SB 1383. And the purpose of this legislation is to reduce carbon methane emissions from landfills generated by our organic compostable debris. So they're at home. You can do your part, again, by trying to prevent the waste in the first place. And what has to go, especially food scraps, compostable paper, can go into your green cart, for those of you who have a green cart at home. So your food scraps, meat, bones, eggshells, paper towels, and certain types of food soiled compostable paper can go into your green cart along with your yard trimmings. I know there at many congregations, you also do have events, gatherings, where, you may have food and, people together. So it's also important to establish this type of sorting, even at your church where you can. So when you're having an event, or if you have an event planner, I would love to work with you there as well, and can provide best practice suggestions to help you capture as much recyclable, compostable material as possible. Really, just like what it showed in the video, having your sorting areas where there's a trash, recycle, and compost available. So when everybody goes to throw things away, they have a space to do it. and to make the decision there on the front end. So there's so much to say. What time is it? 11:24. So I did want to remind you of some of the resources I put in the chat. The Stop Waste, Preventing Waste for Residents link, and the resource stopwaste.org link. Also, don't forget about your household hazardous waste. The county has a program for local residents. So things like batteries, light bulbs, solvents, paints have to stay out of the garbage. Certain electronic waste as well. So there's a lot of resources on these county links for you to be able to go on there, type in what you need to get rid of, and make an appointment for a drop off, and make sure that we're doing our part to keep our local landfills as clear as possible for any things that can be recycled and recovered. I'm going to go to the chat and see hazardous waste such as batteries, paint. Yes. So it is the HHW. Let me pull that up real fast. It's on the these links here on the Recycling for Residents. I'm going to pull that up though. I want to say it's hhw.org. Household hazardous waste, residential. I'm going to put this in the chat, this link in the chat as well. So you go onto this website, it'll give you a list of items that are accepted, and you can go in there and make an appointment to drop off some of the items we discussed. Wax covered paper cups, plates, or boxes, where do they go? Well, they used to be wax covered. No longer. They are a plastic, petroleum based moisture barrier nowadays. So it's no longer wax. If it's a paper cup, plates, boxes, and it's food soiled, we can recover that through the green bin, through the compost system. Things that are hard to recycle. I will show you right here. This little guy, this milk carton. This is a hard to recycle item. It is on our Fremont recycling poster, but in the industry, it's pulp, a low grade pulp paper that's covered in a plastic film. So, I mean, we can accept it and recover it here. It's just a hard to recycle item that doesn't generate a good recyclable material. So for the milk cartons, again, to kind of go back to what I was saying in the beginning, is to make the best consumer choices that you can, to be mindful about the ultimate end of life. So locally, we have here Strauss Farms. You can buy milk in the glass bottles still. It is a little pricey, this milk. You can return the glass bottle to the local grocery store. I live in San Jose. I live close to a Lenardi's, and so I'm able to purchase that milk there and to return the bottle. But not everybody's, will have that available to them. The milk carton is great. We can recycle the plastic carton. We are trying to reduce our plastics though. So that's why I'm just making that one example suggestion where there's a will, there's a way. And to really have an impact on reducing your waste, you're just going to have to decide on which consumer options are going to be best for you and what will work for some of those hard to recycle items. And you guys use compostable utensils and cups. That's great that you guys are making that choice. One thing I do want to say about compostable utensils. In our industry, there's a lot of products that tend to have greenwashing, meaning that they're trying to promote their products as more environmentally friendly. And what we see at our compost facility, these compostable bioplastic utensils, they're really sturdy because they want to be sturdy so we can use them and cut our meat. But they really do not compost well. And we have a large commercial facility, and that material gets pretty hot in the whole decomposition process. So even better than compostable utensils is reusable where you can. But I know at your facility you might not have a dishwasher or have the ability to do that, but I just wanted to point that part out on the compostable utensil part. Bottle caps.
Christine, can you hear me from church?
Yes.
Okay, good. This is Susie.
Hi,
Thank you
Susie.
for all these examples. These are great. So you were just mentioning the plastic serveware. We use World Centric.
Yes, that is our facility approved vendor.
So we're good. So
You're good.
on the,
I'm just saying, like, as an overall picture.
oh, okay.
Reusable silverware is the best way to go. Just your traditional, flatware. But World Centric is the facility approved compostable serviceware.
Okay, good. And on those plates and cups that have potentially that plastic liner, you're saying we can put those in the compost because somehow you'll recover that little bit of plastic at the end of the line?
Well, this is what happens with that material. I mean, these loads, they come into our facility and it's, before we have a CASP system, CASP. It's a contained aerated static pile. We used to use windrows that you saw in the stop waste videos to lay out the organics and add water and sunlight and air and turn it, and it breaks down. But due to carbon and methane emissions, we've had to change that over to a contained system. So before this material is laid out into this system, we have to grind it up, grind up the food scraps, and we try to process out as much plastics and garbage. Plastic bags are a nightmare for our facility, but we try to get out as much as what doesn't belong there as possible. But the milk cartons, paper plates, paper cups, anything that winds up in there, it's ground down to where the paper pulp is exposed on, the sides of the pieces, and the plastic film is on each side. The little microbes go in there and do what they do to break down that paper. And what's left are microplastics in our compost. So, microplastics are everywhere. They're contaminating our environment. They're in our oceans. They're on our beaches and in our gutters along our freeways. So these plastic lined compostable paper products are introducing microplastics into our compost system. So we can recover it, but that's what I know about that.
The World Centric cup does not have that plastic, correct?
That's right. They have a bioplastic lined
Okay, so is
barrier.
it to put that stuff in the garbage or the landfill?
The compostable paper products go into the green container for
the things that are covered in a coating. Is it better just to take those and put them in the garbage than put them in the compost?
We're not trying to confuse everybody more than everybody's already confused. So ideally, the organics, the composting container is for food scraps, plant material, and napkins, paper towels, organic materials that are going to break down. But we do accept the food I will put this up for you too. These are ideal contents. This is hard to see here. I could share my screen. Would that be helpful? I could pull up this document and share my screen to show you.
Of it from you and put it at church too. Maybe I can just get a hard copy. You can send it to me, or we'll.
I'll just respond to your email and I'll attach it that way as well.
Yeah. Does anybody in the church have a question for Christine? While I've got a microphone here, I'll come back to you, B.
What about the caps? Someone asked about bottle caps.
Bottle caps, whether they're plastic or metal, they're going to be the size, because at the, oh, there was another video I wanted to show you all. If you were interested, it's just shows you the recycling process at our facility. I don't have access to the BLT Enterprises over there at the transfer station, but Republic Services, we had a nice shiny new processing system installed, I want to say around 2008, 2009 over at Newbie Island. And we're on vacation and my family is coming into the room right now.
Bottle caps.
The bottle caps. So what I was trying to explain is the processing facility, the size of the bottle caps, unless they're reconnected onto the containers, they're going to be smaller than what we recover. So they're going to fall and be considered like the undersize, and be more of a scrap material that we may be able to recover. So keep your plastic bottle caps screwed on your plastic containers, and the plastic industry, they grind up the plastic containers and they can manage those caps that way.
I had a question here from church.
Sure.
I think she's from. What about the so-called compostable bags? If we put our compostables inside one of those green compostable bags, does that thing go into the green bin?
Yes, that's a bioplastic. As Bio Bag is a good brand. It's a BPI certified plastic.
Yes.
It's bioplastic industry.
Right.
Yes, those are fine. You don't have to use a compostable bag. You could put your material in the container loose. It does get a little messy and stinky. Paper bags are just fine to use if you have those. You could use newspaper or paper towels to help contain your food scraps. It doesn't necessarily you don't have to purchase compostable bags.
Christine, small pieces of wood like chopsticks or toothpicks can go in the compost?
They sure can.
Okay. They were once a plant, so they can be a plant again and go on your garden.
They will break down.
Yeah, but anything that was a plastic was never a plant. It was the fossil fuel industry.
Yes.
Okay. You're coming to the end of your time. I know you need to.
I know, my hotel, this place where I'm at, it's beautiful, but the check-in was an hour late and check-out is an hour early. So I'm like,
well,
buying into my time.
We want to thank you, and send me all the links, and then we'll get it up on our website so that people can check it out for themselves. And later, so you know and we know, a couple months from now, we're planning to have a kind of a show and tell, where we're going to give you ideas of things to use instead of plastic, or things that are like recycled paper you can use, and so it's already been used and you can use it again. So we're going to expand on this topic and just really be the best recyclers ever.
Awesome. And you know what? Really, you all look like you've had some time around and been around the block, and the old ways are some of the best ways as far as reducing waste. So going back to basics, growing your own food, going to local farmers markets, and you guys, whether you know it or not, you know what to do. So just please, the good message that we're trying to share here too is no wishful recycling. Really only please put the things in there that you see on the picture on the top of your cart, just the basic items that we can recover through there. And then just doing your part to make those smart consumer choices and good voter legislative choices to try to help our country better manage our waste material. There's a lot of work to do in our country as a whole. Here on the West Coast, we're trying, we're doing what we can. The rest of the country has a lot of work to do. So great. Thank you so much, everybody. Really nice to meet all of you. And hopefully I could come and join and help y'all at your events.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.